Hey there, my name's Daniel. I was fortunate enough to be part of 3 tech companies that took products global, as well as now spending most of the last 10 years working with other entrepreneurs, helping them go global from New Zealand. One of the things I did recently was wrote this book, which is specifically on how entrepreneurs can pitch better. And in this short video, I'm going to be looking at the structure of your pitch. Now, before I even start on this, let me just say, having a great pitch structure is critical, and it's only the starting point. It's like a builder having a hammer. Just because you hold a hammer does not make you a builder. However, if you don't have a hammer or a nail gun or whatever, then you're unlikely to be able to drive nails in and complete anything worthwhile. So having a structure is really important. Knowing what investors want to hear about is really important. So there's basically only 9 things that an investor wants to hear about in the first pitch. And remember, the point of a first pitch is to get you to a second one. So go for curiosity, not closure. And overall, the biggest mistake I see young entrepreneurs make is you're so fascinated with your product, you just want to tell prospective investors all about your product. And they probably only care about hearing that for 10%. The rest of it is a whole bunch of other stuff. So what is that other stuff? Well, number one is before you even talk about your product, you have to establish that the stage that your product is going to come charging like a hero onto is going to be one where it's required. In other words, you have to have a problem. So start by telling me, what is the problem you solve? Be precise and be specific. Now, the second thing is where you get to talk about your solution, your product, your service. Briefly, very briefly. I don't care about all the stuff on the hood. I just care, in a sentence, you can talk about it at a headline level, then go into a little bit more detail about it. And then number 3, talk specifically about what in your product is relevantly different to competitors. Sometimes called your competitor analysis slide, but people can go a little bit off track with that. I like to keep things real simple and just say, just tell me how it's relevantly unique to other stuff that's out there. That shows, firstly, you know what else is out there, and second, that it is unique, and thirdly, that you've showed that it's relevantly unique as opposed to irrelevantly unique. In other words, it can do some stuff which your target audience cares about. Number 4 is really important, and most entrepreneurs in New Zealand don't do a great job of this, is they might tell me why it's a great product and why it's unique, but not why the timing is right. And if the timing isn't right, then, to use an analogy, if it's not a wave about to break, then I might be, as an investor, catching whitewater. In other words, a whole lot of people have already caught onto it and the opportunity's gone, or else it's a hump distant on the horizon, and by the time it actually breaks, I've waited 5 years and my investment's done nothing in the meantime. So why is this timely to the world and your market right now? So there's a why question about your product, and there's a why now question as well. 5th, look, investors invest in people, right? And it may be 50% of the investment equation. So tell me who you are. Now, remember that you're telling me who you are simply by your passionate delivery. So how you deliver your information counts as much as your message itself. And I still want to know the nuances of why you believe your team has unique qualifications to do something that other probably better funded teams in the world with more resources, more access to international markets like that. You're competing with them. You don't have that stuff. So what's special about you? What's innovative about you? Tell me that. Number 6, where's your proof there's a market at all? Show me that you haven't built a product waiting and hoping that a market exists for it. Show me that you understand there's a market, and show me the evidence. And by the way, the best form of evidence is you've actually talked. You've picked up the phone and you've talked, or you've met with and you've talked, not emailed, talked to real people who are prospective users of your product or solution, and you have asked them about what their pains are, and you have verified that your product can help solve those pains, and you've also asked them, what would you pay for something like this? What would this be worth to you? That sort of conversation is important. Otherwise, you have no evidence that anyone wants what you've created. Bit of a showstopper. How will you make money is point number 7. So this is sometimes called your business model slide. Is it a SaaS model? Are you licensing? Are you getting advertising revenue streams, or are you building a platform which is going to dominate a global market and then inventing a new way to derive revenue that no one's ever thought of before? Whatever it is, just tell me in terms I can understand without having to work hard, what is your business model? How will you make money? Kind of important, huh? Number 8 is how much of my money as an investor would you like, for what stake, and importantly, how does an investor actually get their money out again? They're going to put it in because at some point they want to get it out. How's that going to occur? IPO, trade sale, and to whom? Think about who are likely acquirers of your company, or at what point in the future you might be capable of exiting. How and to whom? Now, if you're at a very early stage, just put at least some effort into understanding that there is someone who may want to acquire your company, or some method of giving an investor their money back again. That's the liquidity event, right? And finally, number 9, very important, and again, something that most Kiwis miss out completely in. This is showing what you have done to de-risk your proposition. Now, I'm going to show you a little slide here from my book. Always love to quote myself. Here I'm going to actually show a little picture. So that's the picture. So I did analysis of a whole lot of different investment pictures that scientists were giving over about a year and a half, and I found that when we added in that slide, trust went up, and the valuation that they could often ask for their companies went up as well. Why? Because value and risk are inversely proportional. In other words, it's a fancy way of saying, as risk goes down, value goes up. So if you can show that you've already knocked off 1, 2, or 3 risks already, and then you're transparent about the risks that you have not yet knocked off that are in your future, and you show that on the same slide, a couple of very powerful things happen. In fact, 3. 1, you show you have de-risked something so your company has some value at all, just key milestones, and it's not incorporate your company. It's stuff that was challenging to do. 2, you have showed that you've been honest about the risk which is still inherent in your company. But 3, because you've linked them both together and you've said, we are here, we've done this, we are yet to do this, then it helps investors see that you have a track record of being aware of milestones and peeling them off. And so the likely assumption is you'll continue to be aware of milestones and peel them off in the future. Talk to these 9 points, and you won't have a brilliant pitch, but you'll have a pitch which at least has a structure that an investor can wrap their head around. There's many other dimensions to it, your passionate delivery, your succinctness, your belief in yourself, your mindset, and the tactics. But those are other dimensions that we'll talk more about on the day. I trust this has been awesomely useful, and I look forward to hearing your pitches.